Hi, I'm Pastor Audri Svay at the Eel River Community Church of the Brethren. Well, I've kind of always grown up Brethren, and when I tell people that I've been a lifelong member of the Church of the Brethren, I have a joke that I've actually been a member of the Church of the Brethren since before I was born. I have parents, grandparents, going back generations that have worked in the Church of the Brethren, pastors, and my mother actually was a Christian educator in the church where I grew up. So to me and my sister growing up, the church was just kind of like a second home. And my grandmother, Harriet Finney, who was the moderator of the denomination in 2003, there's actually a Messenger magazine article from when I was 7 years old of me saying I want to be just like my grandma when I grew up. So I just have this history of feeling called to the church. Then my mother was also a teacher, so I felt called to do what my mother was doing also, which is why I got my degree in education. Teaching has always been a calling for me. But when my husband was working as choir director at the Eel River Community Church of the Brethren, I offered to pulpit fill because it's something I've been doing for a while, something I really liked since I was a senior in high school, when I preached for Youth Sunday and found out that preaching is another calling of mine. So when I offered to pulpit fill, they asked me to interview for the position of pastor, and I thought, what an amazing opportunity. This is a call from God to pursue pastoral ministry. And I've been so grateful to have the opportunity to do that, and it just connected me to the call I felt to attend Bethany Seminary and the master's program for theopoetics there, which I think is definitely setting me on my spiritual path to whatever calls I have in the future. I'm actually 4'11" and a half, so I'm about as close as you can get to 5 foot without actually being 5 foot, which is why I have that step stool behind the pulpit, so I don't have to stand on my tiptoes while I preach. I would say my least favorite thing about being short is that people tend to think I'm younger than I actually am, but I don't mind being short. I like it. I would say my mental happy place is probably more of a feeling. I think the feeling of being hugged, of being held and embraced. Sometimes I just close my eyes and I imagine being held, and I can just take a sigh of relief. So yeah, I think that would be my mental happy place. I think my personal favorite hymn is probably Brethren, We Have Met to Worship, which ties to a memory of mine, one of my earliest memories of an annual conference, where I don't even remember how young I was, but I can just imagine all those hundreds and hundreds of people in that space singing that song, and it just made me feel like that community of love, of church gathered together. And I feel that happy feeling that every time I hear that song, every time I sing it. My favorite flavor of ice cream is probably chocolate. Toppings-wise, I like those little pieces of cookie dough that they put in the blizzards at Dairy Queen. I love sprinkles. I like the color that it adds to the ice cream. I'm not sure it actually adds any flavor, but I like the way it looks. I recently tried hot fudge for the first time, and I love the texture of that. For the same reason I don't really like hard shell chocolate though, like on dilly bars. I'm not a fan of the crunch in my ice cream, but I am a cone person. Any kind of cone. I like being able to have nothing left of my ice cream when I'm done with it. I eat the ice cream, eat the cone, everything. I think I would say the thing that I love and appreciate most about my husband is how supportive he is of anything I want to do. Every calling I have to pastor, to teach, to write, he is encouraging me along the way. He's so supportive of everything. He even helps me with whatever I'm doing to make sure I can achieve whatever it is that I want to get done in life. And that means the world to me. Probably 12 years, at least 12 years. I took my first class, they had handbells class, in my 7th grade at my junior high school. And I've played in just about every church I've been in since then. That's probably another one of my mental happy places, is just playing bells, playing chimes. It always puts me in a good mood. I would probably like to have dinner with Esther because I just think she was incredibly brave and she knew how to speak her truth and when to speak it so that, not to make the king angry, but to help so many people. And I would just love to hear her story from her perspective. I actually think I would like to have dinner with Norton Juster, who's one of my all-time favorite authors. He is actually still alive. I think he's in his 90s. Because I just really appreciate his writing style. He has this amazing way of addressing issues through metaphor and through wordplay. I think I would want to have like a light dinner, so sub sandwiches or like a wood burn pizza or something so we could eat our food, but also just have room on the table to spread papers everywhere so he could give me a writing workshop while we were eating dinner. I think my favorite Cambodian dish that I've tried is logalat. It's a sweet marinated beef, strips of beef, and it's served over a bed of vegetables. So lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers, red onions. And you traditionally eat it kind of like a lettuce wrap. You roll it all together and then you dip it in this lemon pepper sauce and you eat it with rice. Jake has a way of doing it that's a little less messy, where we chop up all the vegetables and serve it kind of like a salad that you can eat with a fork. I like it both ways, it's delicious. I have made it one time, I want to say, and I would definitely be willing to share the recipe. Thank you to everybody who sent in questions for me to answer. It was exciting to see all the things you wanted to know about me, and I hope that we get to know each other a lot better in the future.